everyone, welcome to the community classroom. This is Dr. Tracy McCarthy, psychologist, attorney, and educator. We're going to quickly turn our attention to who is a citizen and attempt to put to rest any concerns that individuals might have about not having citizenship when they are in fact citizens of the United States of America. If this video appears on anything other than Dr. Tracy McCarthy, it is stolen and unauthorized. Let's get started. To assist us in understanding the answer to this question of who is a citizen, we're going to have a quick civics overview. And so in this overview, we're going to look at the three branches of government. There are three branches of government, and there are three levels of government. And with those three levels, each level has its own branches. And so the three branches of government, for a quick overview here, is we have the legislative branch, we have the executive branch, and we have the judicial branch. The legislative branch makes the laws. The executive branch enforces the laws, and the judicial branch interprets the laws that are created by the legislative branch. And so to understand the answer to this question again of who is a citizen, we are going to be looking at a legislative dynamic and a judicial dynamic. As we previously discussed, there is a lot of fictional law that floats around. And one fiction that floats around is this idea that those with brown skin in America do not actually have citizenship, that the Dred Scott decision somehow took the citizenship away from the individuals who are currently in the United States of America. Now, the Dred Scott decision was in 1856. Many people say that this was never overturned. And part of the reason that they talk about it that way is that they don't understand the way the three branches work, and they don't understand the Constitution. And so what you have here, you have the Dred Scott decision, and remember, it was in 1856. That's important to remember. What you have, however, after that was a nullification of the Dred Scott decision. It was nullified by both the 13th and the 14th Amendments. And what this did was it then made sure that former enslaved individuals had standing in federal court. Now, what's interesting about this is that many people who are asserting these issues related to the Dred Scott decision also claim identity as American Indians and also claim a history of ancestors who were never enslaved. And so it's very interesting that such individuals would even latch on to the Dred Scott decision, because this decision would have never been applicable to them based upon their narrative of their ancestors. There's already a video on the 13th Amendment. If you want to watch that, you can watch that to kind of catch up to where we are here talking about the 14th Amendment. So how did the 14th Amendment give citizenship to people? The 14th Amendment basically says all persons, I have the arrows down there for you, all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. Now, some may be asking, how does this nullify the Dred Scott decision? This came out after the Dred Scott decision, and so it remedied the damage created by the Dred Scott decision. And this is a quick refresher for those who identify as American descendants of slavery. The 14th Amendment to the United States Constitution, it was adopted in 1868. So remember, this is after the Civil War. And the purpose was to address issues of equal protection and the rights of former enslaved individuals. And many people will tell you that it didn't apply to that particular group. However, this is a law of equal protection for all citizens, and it is also related to the dynamic of due process. Now, questions regarding citizenship do not usually come from individuals who identify as ADOS or American descendants of slavery. The questions and assertions related to citizenship usually come from individuals who more recently identify themselves as American Indians. And so what's going on is individuals are not understanding what happened in the past and how it impacts their identity in present times. And so what you have are individuals who are identifying as Indian, not understanding that there are two statuses. You have some Indians who are Indians and they do not have the status of U.S. citizen. Then you have some Indians who do have the status of U.S. citizen. It is important for individuals to understand the treaties that their ancestors were involved in. Those treaties will help them to understand their current status because ancestors made choices that impacted descendants. And many people don't understand this. They made decisions to either stay or to go. Those who decided to go, they have one status, generally speaking. Those who decided to stay, they have another status, and that status is generally as a U.S. citizen. Now, those who left, they were given land allotments in a different form, though. And those who stayed were also given land allotments and resources. Now, what people need to do is, in terms of understanding, quote unquote, the reparations that were provided to the Indians that stayed, is they need to understand their treaties. And so they need to first establish that they actually are a part of that nation and they fall under that treaty. And then they can get a better understanding of the extent to which they have received reparations. One thing that might be going on with all of this conflict between individuals who are identifying as Indian/Aboriginal and the antagonism towards those who are ADOS and those who are seeking reparations is there may already be an awareness that those who are identifying as Indian, their ancestors made choices that may preclude any future quote unquote reparations. So long story short, the treaties will give you some information related to your standing. And also the 14th Amendment gives you information related to your standing. If you are interested in learning a little bit more about the extent to which you received quote unquote reparations through your ancestors that were, these were expected to sort of trickle down, then you need to get a handle on your specific treaties and your ancestors' rights under those treaties. So you need to know what sorts of resources they received under those treaties. Remember, knowledge is power. Take care and see you soon.